to plan. Hey, Linda. Is it vegan girl? Hey, vegan girl, how you doing? Oh, hey, y'all. Hello, hello. It feels like it's been forever since we've been live. Hey, Jenny. Hey, Argo Acres. Hey, Judith. How are you guys doing tonight? We're going to be crafting in a few minutes, so I hope you guys will hang out. It says I'm connected to YouTube and connected to Facebook, but I don't see any comments yet, so I'll wait for you to tell me that we're all where we're supposed to be.
There you go.
Yes. And hopefully everything goes well. Because I was going to connect this phone so I could have another vertical video to edit in case something went wrong. But, hey Brandon. Hey, Meehan Making. Is it Meehan Makins? Is that what it is? I hope so. ADHDer, we are friends. Rosalind, hey you guys. Good in San Diego. Oh, good. I hope you guys are safe in San Diego. I text my cousin, and that heifer hasn't texted me back. So hopefully everything is all good in San Diego and you guys won't get hit too hard. Hey, I see people now. Hey, Paula. Hey, Holly. Hey, Valerie. How you guys doing? Sorry, I'll let you say hi.
You already did, so you're good.
David is tired, y'all, so I don't know how chatty he's going to be. Although I did steal a picture of him. I'm going to see if I can upload it. Let's see, from Switcher Cloud. That's what I was doing. Because I had to get the lobster pictures, baby. I just have to show them. But I'm super excited to be here. I feel like it's been forever since we've been live. I'm missing my peoples. But we were so tired last week, you guys. I had nothing left to give. So we did not come live. Okay, I'll do that one picture for now. I might pull up some more later. So, am I sounding okay, you guys? You guys can let me know. Hey, Unstoppable Herbal. I love your name, by the way. Thanks for joining. We are going to be upcycling tonight. I have some fun projects. I have like 5 pulled out, and I edited it down to 3. So I think we can get 3 projects done if we get started right away while I'm chit-chatting. You guys know. So why don't we say hi to everybody, baby?
Well,
I only said hi to 3 people.
Yeah, we've already said hi, so that's fine. Just remember, like and share, comment.
Yeah, baby.
Subscribe.
There's a lot more people that have popped on since
There
I
aren't
said
that
hi.
many. I'm been fiddling with your sound because you're doing this. You're talking up while you're
I'm talking to.
Because you're reading rather than crafting.
Okay, fine.
So your sound has been all over the place.
I see. My sound man is getting on me because I'm moving too much. I'm gonna focus.
Now, remember, I have an excuse to be crabby.
Why?
I'm on crabby medication.
Oh, that's right. Y'all pray for us because I'm in menopause. Which, by the way, I want to ask for forgiveness for anybody that I had horrible thoughts about as a young woman when I just said they were just being crabby because they were just old. Because menopause is a real deal. Like nobody talks about this part of menopause. Like people talk about hot flashes and other people talk about other people when they were on menopause, but nobody who's gone through it really talks about how your hormones like significantly impact your ability to like regulate your emotions. Like it's a serious deal. So I'm dealing with that, and David's on steroids.
Yes.
On medication.
No, it's a steroid.
I mean, it's a steroid, but I mean, like you're not pumping iron.
No,
on
no,
steroids.
God, no. Well, look at me. I posted a couple of photos that show I am really not taking steroids for the look.
No, but so they're significantly impacting his mood, and so y'all pray for us.
Honestly, right now is the first time I've actually legitimately felt crabby.
Yeah.
And I was irritated that you were saying hello to everybody.
Oh.
So I have to watch that.
Oh, okay.
That's all. I'm trying to pay attention to it.
Okay.
I don't mean to. You know, you saying that just reminded me, or just made me think of this. Look, for everybody named Karen, I'm sorry, but Karen has now become synonymous with somebody
entitlement. Yes.
But is it? Because I look at a lot of the women that online will go, oh, she's a Karen. And it's ladies who might be going through menopause.
Maybe.
And maybe their body's just causing them to overreact. They don't mean to.
Because I know I'd be crying for no reason.
So I think I'm going to be a little bit more forgiving of Karens.
Okay.
Just
I try to give everybody grace. You know why? Can I tell you guys? I know I'm gonna go off subject a little bit, but I'm gonna share something because my husband just put it on my mind, and the Lord put it on my heart like a long time ago. And I meant to look up the scripture before I shared this, but one of you guys can tell me, okay? So there is a story in the Bible that Jesus is telling, and it's about the servants who were each given a coin, right? They were given something that was super valuable. One of them spent their coin right away. One of them invested their coins and they made it into more, and one of them hid theirs and just kept it to themselves so it'd be nice and safe for when their master came back. And you will hear ministers who are talking about like money. What do they call it? The type of message that some preachers teach. Prosperity.
Prosperity
gospel, right?
Yeah.
But what if it could also apply to grace, right? Like the gift of grace is so incredibly phenomenal. Like grace, forgiveness, for no other reason than of love, right? Grace. So I've been given grace by my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And so I can take my grace, right? And I can just like not give it value and just not care. Or I can take it and hide it and hope that I'll have it intact when he gets back. Or I think the best option is I can share my grace. I can go out and I can invest grace. I can invest that grace into other people and I can multiply it. So I'm working on giving people grace. I'm not always good, y'all, because people be working my nerves. They be peopling too hard. But I'm working on showing more grace because I have grace. Anyways, that's my message for tonight.
All right. So there you go. Candace Clay says that's Matthew 25:14-29.
Thank you. I knew one of y'all would know. So don't take your coins and hide them and just hope that your grace is going to be intact, y'all. We're supposed to go about and share it and multiply it, invest it in other people. So
there we go.
But I think we should say hi to everybody, baby.
All right. On YouTube, we have Flea Brown from rainy Santa Barbara, Gypsy Woman Charm, Janer, Kathy Dixon, Redeemed from Northern Michigan, Kim Lamar, Linda Malman, Ruru2, Jane Neese, Luann Vassallo, Vicky Moore, Trish Peavy from Brisbane, Australia, Karen Blake, been too long for me, can't wait to see what you do. Kim Lamar says Krabby Pants. I took a nap and for whatever reason woke up crabby.
Yeah.
So I'm really trying to pay attention to it. Kim Camo, Connie Berkram from Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. Gypsy Woman Charm says that was the parable of the talents.
Yes.
And Teresa Gonzalez also on YouTube. Then on Facebook, we have Lori Stanley Henderson from Indiana, Marty Hardy, Angie Champagne, Dee Huff, Susan Starks, Holly Haynes Lamb from Georgia, Paula Takagi, Valerie Coots from Virginia, Flea Brown again. I like her because she uses both. She's Flea's on top of things. Flea's running multiple things. She's got that giant computer setup I picture.
She probably does.
You know,
I saw her craft room. It's all like organized. Girl, if you saw mine.
Let's see. Kelly Maderi, Shaz Conover from the UK, Doris Rushing, Shirley Sullivan from Alabama, Joanne Shaner Cotton, Yolanda Jones, Candace Clay, Wendy Kramer, Lori Scott, Pamela McDowell, Tommy Kiddos, Tommy from Colorado, Barbara Garrels, Julie Brawley from Mexico, winds 43 miles an hour from Hillary.
Please stay safe. We've gotten a little wind this evening, but it's calmed down now.
Jackie Bishop Carnivale, Kathleen Hoovis, Carol Cahoon from Australia says good morning from Australia.
Good morning.
As it is. Dawn Perry Headley, Jill Gomez Haley, Candace Clay, Jennifer Stever, Leanne Ziegel, Holly Haynes Lamb, Beverly Skeens, who I just put in a friend request for today on Facebook, Lourdes Garcia Ambrosio, menopause is no joke.
It isn't.
Patty Guinup Mitchell, Doris Rushing, Janet Taylor Borgers, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Shirley Sullivan, Brenda Wood, let's see, Deb Hatfield, I get so grumpy, sad, and short fuse. It's no fair, and it's hard for people who have not experienced menopause.
Yes.
So we understand. Flea Brown says, talk about crying. This is what I've been thinking about all day long. So let's see. Patty Mitchell, menopause is such an emotional roller coaster. Mary Sharkey, normally I'm saying hi from Arizona, but in Michigan this week.
Oh.
Visiting family.
It's probably nice and cool over there, isn't it?
Muggy, I would guess. Would be my guess.
Muggy, but it's muggy here too.
That's true. Barbara Painter Martin from Tempe. Sherry Benhart in Hot, Iowa. Pam Dudley,
Sherry.
Albuquerque. We need to get up to Albuquerque. We got to take a 2-day trip to Albuquerque.
Okay.
Pamela Culp Adair from East Tennessee. Michelle Adamus from Virginia. Nancy J. Camp Avalos from Oahu. Hopefully you're doing good.
I know.
Marty Hardy says we are on fire in my area. Pray some of that California rain comes our way.
Yes.
Mary Sharkey says, yeah, cooler but humid.
Yeah.
So, and I just saw the Ojai Valley got hit with a 5.1 magnitude earthquake today. So not only are you getting a hurricane in Southern California, which you never do, you're getting...
I wonder if the hurricane is causing it.
You get occasionally a tropical storm will come up the Gulf of California.
Yeah.
But it's not that frequent, but a hurricane hitting Southern California and an earthquake.
I know. It's crazy. So prayers that everyone is safe tonight. We went thrifting. I meant to upload. I went through all the trouble of taking before pictures of all my items, and then I forgot to upload them. You guys, I have 2 terabytes of storage in my iCloud, and it's full. So it's not backing up on my iPad, and I'm so used to my pictures being there, and they're not. So this started out as just, you guys know how it becomes like, oh Lord, y'all pray that the weather lets us go live
that's
tonight.
Thunder that I'm hearing?
No, that's the wind. That's what I was telling you.
Oh,
that
okay.
sound.
See, I had headphones in.
Yeah.
Now I'm just deaf.
That's the wind.
Okay.
So ice cream makers were really popular, like the old school ones, and I'm seeing them in the thrift store a lot. But a lot of the times, it's just the inside of the ice cream maker, just this part. But I buy them because I love them. So this one, I just taped off the top because I wanted to maintain some of the metal, and I just painted the bottom. And I did that ahead of time for time's sake because I knew I was going to decoupage. So I just painted this, and I cheated. I spray painted it because I'm being lazy. So, although I had to shake that damn can for like 10 or 15 minutes because it's 50 years old. I probably would have been quicker just to paint it. But so I painted this white, and I'm going to be using the recycled fall tartan decoupage paper. So for those of you who are new here, these decoupage sheets they're now 21 inch by 29 inches, 20 by 30. 21 by 29 inches. They're close to 20 by 30. And they're 18-pound tissue. And so this particular one has 2 different tartans on it. But we're going to use the gold tartan tonight because you guys know how during Christmas time, we all love those like green and red plaid old what do you call the things that they used to put soup or you could put your coffee in? Like thermoses? Like the thermoses.
Oh.
Sorry.
The thermos.
Yeah, I know. I just thought of the word.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It.
I hear soup. I think tureen, but
yeah, like the thermoses, and we love them. We love them. You guys know who I'm talking about because we like putting flowers in them, and they're beautiful. So I thought, what if we made one that was fall? And so I want to decoupage this can in the fall tartan, and then I can put some fall flowers in there, and I think that'll be super pretty.
See,
so,
I think of a thermos with a tartan or a plaid.
Yeah.
As a working man's thermos.
Yeah.
The kids had Scooby-Doo and...
Yes. But I mean,
mine had the Wild Wild West. That's how old I am. So
I think our nostalgia is because we saw our fathers carry those.
Yes. All right.
My grandpa had one.
Yeah.
I just know whenever I see one, and you guys can tell me if you guys are the same way. Maybe I'm just weird all alone. But whenever I see one in a thrift store, I always nab it. And I love using them for holiday because they do have a tartan on there.
Yeah. It's generally red and white. That's the way I remember it.
Yes.
Because my grandfather had one too.
Yes.
Worked in a factory and carried his coffee in it.
Exactly. And so they're pretty. Well, we think they're pretty for the holidays. So. And I found this super cute little basket. Oh, I'm all talking. I'm sorry, you guys. Let me put you guys down so you guys can see what I'm doing.
See?
My TikTok people are like, what are you doing over there?
Kim Comp Rogers, do we have anything to give away? Because I think she should get something today. Because here's what she says.
What?
I love tartan, especially my bell tartan. She makes all these designs, but doesn't do the one with our name.
I am going to make a bell tartan. I've already decided. Me and Lexi have put it on the list already.
All right.
I scored this basket, and I love it because it's flat on the back. I've actually found a few of these lately, and I love them because they're super easy to hang on like the wall or my door. So we're going to update this one too, and I've already taped it off because I know that there's parts that I don't want to paint. And then our third project is I scored like 3 of these silver, and they're kind of the perfect size. They're not too big and not too small. And I've already cleaned this one up really well. So we're gonna modify this one and make like a door hanger, which I think is gonna be super cute. So those are the 3 things that we're gonna update tonight. But we're gonna start with our tartan.
We have on YouTube a first timer, Paige Nicole Komar.
Paige, hi Paige.
Never caught your live before, just bought paper for the first time ever. Received it yesterday. She got Halloween masterboard and grain sacks, and the rooster paper is fabulous. She's making a faux window with it now.
Ooh, I love those. I really do.
And Pam Dudley brings up something that while you're projecting, that I think we should discuss. And this kind of leads into our recent trip.
Yes.
So I said we should do a 2-day to Albuquerque. It's a neighboring state.
It's right there.
You know, we've been to Silver City. We picked the wrong time to go, but we've been to Silver City.
There were so many people. Well, and it was during COVID too, so everything was at not during COVID, but like.
No, it was. It was all closed down except for 2 restaurants.
But it was that weird part. It was that weird time though when some parts of the country were open, some parts were closed.
Yeah.
Albuquerque, Silver City just happened to be one of the ones that were like at 30% occupancy for all the restaurants.
And we went on Memorial Weekend, literally last minute. It was like we got up and went, let's take a trip.
Yeah, and we couldn't even get a motel room.
Yeah, every hotel room was booked. We wound up coming home. So she said when we do decide to go to Albuquerque, look her up. She would like to do a meet and greet.
That would be fun.
We wanted to in Las Vegas. We just didn't happen to have anybody there at the time.
Yeah, nobody said so.
But I you were talking about the other day. It's something I'm curious if people would like if we could do something like that.
Yes.
If we could do a little.
If we could travel next year and just kind of do meet and greets.
Do some meet up with a retailer or a shop. Just kind of hang out. Maybe craft a little.
I am just trimming my paper. I'm not trying to trim it perfectly. You guys know I like to give myself some room for error. So I'm just trimming it down closer to what I need so that I don't have to wrestle with so much paper at one time. And so I'm just trying to figure out kind of what I'm gonna need. And then we will start with the decoupage. I'm excited about this one because I already envision what I'm gonna put in here.
Rita Garber Green, I live in Vegas. We put out the call 2 lives in a row.
We did, and nobody, because I was gonna set up a happy hour somewhere.
Yeah, meet at a casino. One of the.
We could have met at the Palms while we're waiting for 4 hours to get into Ace.
Yeah, no kidding. Rustic Restyle Limited is watching from New Zealand.
Hello.
I love her slug line. That's what we call it in radio.
What's a slug line?
Or media, I should say. Transforming your homes one piece at a time.
Yes, I do love that.
That's a great one. Good job. She says, "Come to New Zealand. There's always a bed for you."
One of these days, I have to get a
We need passports.
passport.
Yeah, we do.
You guys can tell we're not bougie people because we don't have passports.
Well, the times I traveled to Canada, I was younger and you didn't need it because
Yeah.
our borders were, and Mexico's the same way.
Yeah.
It was great. All right,
didn't
you
need
might have to show your birth certificate, but that's changed.
Yeah. Heck, the UK, you gotta like get a special kind of something now for
A
if you're
visa?
coming from the US.
You have to get a visa now?
No. You have to have a visa, and then there's some other document you have to get on top
Oh.
of that. Yeah. It's getting sketchy around these borders.
Paige Comar, did you ever get to Southeast Texas? No, Southwest. El Paso is the most Texas we've gotten thus far.
The
El Paso is a
closest.
day trip. It's a longish day trip, but we could day trip
Yeah.
El Paso.
And so you guys see I wet my paper. And what that's going to do is it's going to make the paper stretch out ahead of time. So it makes it easier for me to get a wrinkle-free finish when I do it this way.
Kathleen Hoovis asks, are you starting on the seam of the can?
I am, Kathleen. Hopefully that's going to help me get it on there straight. So I'm using the top line and the seam to help me get it on there straight, because you guys know how whenever you're decoupaging like a colander or a cylinder, if you're off just a little bit, by the time you get to the other side of your cylinder, you're all whopper jawed. So I'm using this line at the top, and I'm also using this line, hopefully, to help me line it up right so that I'm not whopper jawed when I get around my can. But there's no guarantee. But all I can do is get as close as possible, right? But you guys see how when I wet that, how the paper just lays down completely flat, because what I'm doing is essentially I'm wetting the paper ahead of time so that the fibers of the paper stretch, and so there's no response to my decoupage medium because it's already stretched.
Oh, we have another first timer, Meg Hale on YouTube.
Hey,
First time
Meg.
watching. Have been using your papers for a few weeks now and love them.
Thank you. I hope you guys are enjoying the fall designs. I have been making a lot of stuff. I've been up crafting after David goes to bed at night.
Flea Brown says we have to come to Santa Barbara or close to it. I think if we do any traveling, our first stop's going to be San Diego,
Yes.
because we have family/friends there. She's your best friend, just to acknowledge.
She's my best friend cousin.
She's your best friend.
She is.
Look, if you get on the phone and you're on the phone where literally your phone runs out of juice.
We have stuff to talk about, baby.
Exactly. Like 3 times a week.
No, we don't talk that often.
At least once a week. At least once a week.
Probably once a week, yes.
But I think it's more often than that. I think it qualifies as your best friend.
It depends. It depends.
Drea is a
on
good
what's
best
going
friend.
on.
So,
And so I'm just putting down, for those of you that are new, I'm using Wise Owl's 1 hour enamel, but you can use any water-based like clear coat that you have. If you're like in the UK or Australia, you can use PVA glue to decoupage as well. I like to water my glue down some so that it's not as tacky. I feel like it gives me more freedom to be able to manipulate my paper. If everything isn't super sticky and it's not tacking down right away. And that's just my personal preference. But of course, once you start making, you'll develop your own personal preference.
Karen Moyer, can you spell whopper jawed?
I don't know, Karen, is that a real word, or is it like, although some words make it into the dictionary, even if they're not like real words when they start out. I've noticed that.
I actually heard that in Minnesota the first time when I was in college, so that's 40 years ago.
Whopper jawed?
Whopper jawed, yeah.
I mean, I know it's something that we use, but I don't know if it's like, an
Not really
official
a word.
Yes.
She spelled it WAPPERJAWED. I'd say that's just as good as any.
Yeah, I mean, I've spelled it in a post before, but I probably spell it different each time because...
My thought is WHOPPER, Whopper, like the candy.
Oh, like Whopper jawed, like
Yeah, but-
WHOPPER and then JAWED.
Well, whatever.
Oh, whatever. I have a little bit of an overlap here, but I'm just gonna go with it because it's right there on the seam anyways. which means this part is probably going to be facing back. And so I'm just going to go through, and what I'm doing primarily is just making sure that there aren't any like air bubbles under my paper, which there are, because I didn't smooth it as I go. Look, I didn't follow my own rules, you guys. So I have air kind of caught under there, so I'm pushing that out, and just making sure there's good contact between the paper and the surface while my clear coat is still wet.
Melissa Q.E. Gomez, whopper jawed, walker jawed, whomper jawed, wop V1 SE jaw 1, crooked, out of place, damaged, broken, 1837.
Oh, it is a word? Oh, I thought it was just like a, you know.
Yep. And Mary Sharkey said Yooper finally made it into the dictionary.
What finally made it?
Yooper, Upper Peninsula resident for Michigan. You like, who were the owners of the restaurant? He was from the UP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you're
Jeff and Francis.
Yeah. Now that's different from a yinzer. A yinzer is somebody from Pittsburgh. Am I correct? So whopper jawed is a word according to Melissa Q.E. Gomez.
Wow.
And she's got QE in her name, which means she knows.
She knows.
Exactly.
And I don't have plastic. I don't see plastic wrap. You guys know, like, if I ever have a live and I remember everything, I've been switched out by a body snatcher. Because I cannot find any plastic wrap, but I'm just going to use this towel. And I'm just pushing those air bubbles out through the edges. And this is going to be so cute. And I love having that metal at the top.
On YouTube, Luann Vassallo asks a question. If I paint the back of the paper, should I still spray it with water before putting it down?
That's a good question.
Did you let the paint dry?
I think, yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think if you let the paint dry, you may want to spray it. It's probably going to still react to the moisture, but not as much. So spraying it will probably still help. But I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to have to experiment. And then I can give you a definitive answer. Or you can experiment and then you can tell me next week. Okay,
Kelly
I'm going to
Madera.
leave this alone now before I tear it. I'm super happy with that. I thought for sure I was going to be like whopper jawed, but it's not. It's straight. So I'm going to leave that aside and let it dry, and we can start our next project.
Kelly Madera asks, does 1 hour enamel actually take an hour to dry when using it for decoupage, or does adding the water help it dry faster? And if you use as a sealant, do you lay thicker where it may actually take the whole hour to dry?
So it dries right away. So you guys want the long explanation or the short one? So the reason why it's called 1 hour enamel is because it actually cures faster, although the clear doesn't cure in an hour completely. Most sealers or top coats, which are essentially the same thing, take a full 30 days to actually cure. So even though they're dry and they're dry to the touch, they're not completely cured, generally for 30 days. 1 hour enamel is an entire line of products. So the 1 hour enamel paints actually cure in 1 hour, except for the darker colors may take like an hour and 45 minutes just because they have more, what do you call the color?
Pigment?
They have more pigment, so it takes them a little bit more to cure. The clear 1 hour enamel dries right away, but it won't be completely cured. I think it's 82% cured after 48 hours, and then it continues to cure for another 30 days. And so that's why it's called 1 hour enamel, because it actually cures in an hour. So like if you're painting cabinets or you're painting furniture, especially if you're using the colors, it's really awesome because you can paint your cabinet doors and after an hour they're completely cured and you can hang them back up and you're ready to go. So let's do our baskets next. So I've already taped off portions of my basket. I love the look of white with, the basket with, the natural brown colors. And this is wicker. And I just feel like wicker, like dark wicker like this just says fall. all on its own. And so we're gonna add some fall to this one, but this little element right here in the front, you guys can see that little decorative element. I don't like that, so we're gonna take it off. Let me look, because I see a question. Oh no, that's just TikTok's posting stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna take this off and I'm just gonna snip it and we're gonna remove it because it's just some little bitty wicker pieces that's holding it on there because we're gonna decoupage our basket too. I contemplated bleaching this basket because that would have been cute just to lighten it up some, but I think that I want to decoupage the front and then leave some wood elements around the edges and the top. So I'm just going to remove this element because I don't like it.
All right,
and
so
I have a nice flat surface to work with now.
let's talk a little bit about our trip.
Yes.
What did we
Can I show
do
my
first?
picture? I'm going to show my picture.
Okay.
This is David when he's eating lobster, you guys. He was not crabby at all on that day. He ate a lot of crab, but he was not crabby. Although your clothes were pretty crabby by the time we were done.
They were. The suitcase had a little shellfishy smell.
Yeah. Crabby man. But what were you going to say, babe?
Well, first, Kathleen O'Brien Hoovis, how would you bleach it?
So I'm not even sure if it's going to work. I'm going to try with another basket, but I was going to use, there's some bleaching agent that a lot of furniture artists are using to bleach their furniture. And so my thought was to spray it with like some oven cleaner just to get rid of the shiny clear coat on the top and get that off, and then put some of that bleaching agent on there to lighten the wood so that it would look lighter. This one also, it wasn't very substantial, like the wicker isn't. It was another reason why I chose not to bleach it. But I have another larger one, and the weave is like thicker and hardier. So I'm gonna experiment with that one, and I'll tell you guys how it comes out.
Nancy Griffin, I thought that was lobster. I'm jealous. It was lobster.
It was lobster. We went to, which it's funny. So we watched YouTube before leaving because we wanted to make sure, because we wanted to go to a buffet, but we wanted to go to like
a good one.
A good one. And we found out about the Ace restaurant at the Palms Casino. I didn't realize that Ace was just an acronym for all you can eat until after the fact.
Because there's 2 Ace buffets.
Yes.
In Las Vegas. We saw the second one.
Well, it's because it's all you can eat. There's probably more than 2. We saw 2, but I bet you there's more because they're all you can eat. But anyways, the all you can eat buffet at the Palms was really good, but there was a cost. What was the cost, baby?
So they do different specials. So like one night it's a prime rib special, even though they had prime rib the day we went.
Yes.
One day it's just crab. But the day we went was Wednesday, although I think they said they were going to expand it to Wednesday and Thursday because it's so popular.
Yeah.
$65 per person. All you can eat whole lobster, lobster tail, crab legs, both steamed and chilled, prime rib, because you had prime rib.
I had a prime rib, yeah.
And then all the other stuff, sushi and
yeah, they barbecue. They had a carving station.
yeah,
It was like really, and good food too. Not just good because it was expensive food, but good because it was seasoned.
oh, it was delicious.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed I got full because it was so good.
I'm like,
and I
ooh,
fought that last
baby,
one
look,
down.
they have this, and they have this, and they have this. And he looks at me and he's like, you know what they have? Lobster.
I had a helping of mashed potatoes.
Okay.
And I tried some of their mac and cheese. It was
The mac and cheese was,
it was,
yeah.
once you've had Sandra Gaines mac and cheese, there's no going back. But
we have a friend of ours.
The potatoes were decent.
Yeah. She makes a mac and cheese, and she has like 4 cheeses in there or something like that.
Oh, it's fantastic. So, but it was delicious, and I would say I got $65 worth.
Yes.
Because when we go out, we'll go out once a year and get crab. We're probably paying what, $120, $130 for that meal.
Yeah.
So now, what we don't do when we go out to get crab is wait 5 hours to get in.
Yeah, that was more of the cost I was talking about, more than the price.
Yeah.
Was we
Well,
got there at
we didn't wait 5 hours.
10:30.
We waited about 4.
Yeah, it was about 4 hours altogether, but we got there at 10:30 in the morning, y'all. And so you get in line, and then you stand in line for a chance to pay for your ticket. And they only let so many people in.
With seating, they're limited.
Yes, they're limited. So if you don't get there early enough, then you're just SOL. You can stand in line, and if the person in front of you is where they cut the line off, then that's where they cut the line off.
So we got there at the perfect time. We were in the first group.
Yes.
They start serving at 2. Oh, so we get there at 10:30. You can't buy your ticket until
12.
noon.
Yeah.
So we're 90 minutes in line. Then they don't start serving until 2. And you have to wait in line to get served.
Yes.
And we didn't get in line fast enough for that. But we got in pretty quick.
Yeah, we got in pretty quick though. It was fine. But that was that.
And you're limited to 90 minutes?
Yes.
You're
Which is
limited to
plenty of
90
time.
minutes in there. But honestly, you don't need 90 minutes to fill up.
You don't.
So, yeah. Yeah, Nancy Griffin, I could eat them out of house with lobster. There were people that were throwing down whole lobsters.
That one little bitty lady next to us, I just could not believe she was eating that much food. I just kept looking. She was little.
I'd never eaten a whole lobster before. So did the crabs, did the tail, that was fine. Then I broke it open and ruined a shirt because it exploded all over my shirt.
Yeah.
Broke open the middle part and I saw a bunch of things in there that I didn't recognize. And I said, I think I'm just going to stick to the prepared lobster tails.
Yes.
And that's what I did.
I'm going to set this aside, you guys, and let this dry for a few minutes to make sure there isn't any like loose paint in there. And we're going to go ahead and paint this one while we wait. We're going to paint while we wait, not whistle.
Yeah. So if you go to Vegas, you got to spend a day. You're going to spend a day at the Palms Casino.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's going to be in line. Bring a couple of people. You can switch off. We met that one lady from Chicago with her brothers. I'm assuming they had like a little mini family reunion.
Yeah, it was her. She and her 2 brothers, I believe.
Yeah, and
the little lady behind me was from Los Angeles. Yeah. And the other lady I was talking to, she was from Chicago too.
And they all planned their trip around this. We did too.
Yeah.
We could have left that day, but we planned to stay one extra day for that.
Yes.
And just bring a couple extra people so you could swap out.
Yes.
Because nobody gets mad at that. They all know, I got to go to the restroom. Okay, you take my place, or
I got to go play on the.
Yeah, I'll go play in the slots. You stand, and then we'll switch.
And I'll win some money.
Yep. So.
I know I was lucky all week. David, not so much.
No, but we don't play crazy gambling.
No, we're cheap. If I put $20 in and I win 40, I'm out. If I put $20 in and I lose 10, I'm out. Give me my $10. I'm done.
Yep. I'm the same way because that's money that could go to a lobster buffet. Sorry, I have priorities. Carmen Dowmer, sorry, that's too much time to cut into my gambling schedule.
Oh my goodness. See, I think we're gastro tourists, baby.
Yep.
We really are. Whenever we travel, we always go and we'll look up because when we were in Flagstaff, we looked up the best brunch in Flagstaff.
Yep.
And we went to, I forgot the name of the restaurant now.
Yeah.
It was the decorations was kind of like an old school,
60s diner.
Like a 60s diner. But the food, you could tell it was a younger chef that was cooking. It was good.
Let's see. All right. I've been looking at Facebook. Let's go over to YouTube. Paige Komar was up 36 hours because couldn't quit crafting yesterday.
I do that too, Paige. I was up till 3:30 the other night because I got started on a project and I couldn't stop.
Joan Volkman just got home from having a 90th birthday party for her mom.
Oh my goodness.
Now she gets to relax and watch this. Paige asked, can I use the paper on the lid of a wooden cheese box that has wide woven pieces of veneer? Will it conform to the weaving?
It will. Just spray your paper with the water, and that really helps your paper to conform. Is it strips of weaving, like shiplap-ish, kind of? Because if that's the case, it's really easy. You could either cut your paper, right, and decoupage each strip, or you can spray it and have it conform to the pieces. I don't know if you guys saw the video from one of the super talented people on our design team, on our creative team, is Heike Morrow. I don't know if I'm saying her last name right, but she did a chest using Ricky Shoemaker's paper, and she decoupaged on top of texture, and you could see the texture through the paper. It's fabulous. I have a piece set aside to do that with.
Paige Komar sent a super chat as well, just a way to say thank you.
Thank
we appreciate
you.
that. Kim Camo, no gambling, saving money for crafting.
Right, Kim? You got to prioritize.
And Joan Volkman, who also said, I think it was Joan that said that's a good price for all you can eat lobster. I think that's who said that. Didn't they give you little bibs to wear? No, and I would have. I'm not.
I tried to give this man a napkin. So they don't give you bibs.
You did.
But they did give you like these napkins that were like huge, and they were like really hardy. And I did try to give it to him, but he was like, nope, I'm okay.
Dorothy Lage asks, are you putting gesso on the tray?
You know what? I'm just using regular chalk style paint, on the tray. I used a little scrubby pad, and actually a sanding pad, not like a scrubby pad like you use in the kitchen. And I kind of scrubbed it earlier to give it a little bit of tooth, and I washed it. If I were you and you're gonna do this, you guys, I would use a white primer. It's probably the best choice, because my paint is peeling up just a little bit. I think it'll be fine ultimately, but if I'd have been thinking, I would have used a white primer rather than just the white chalk style paint. But I wanted to pick stuff that isn't what we usually decoupage to, because I get a lot of questions on what you can decoupage. And so you can decoupage metal, glass, wood. I mean, you can decoupage just about any surface. And if it's a slick surface, then you just prime it with a gripping primer first, and then you decoupage. So you can decoupage just about anything.
Janet Taylor Borgers, that is very different from when we were there 10 years ago. I'm assuming she means Vegas.
Yes, it was very different. It was really expensive.
Yeah, my mom lived in Vegas for about 5 years, so I would go often because I was in Havasu, 2 hours away. So,
real quick, baby, and then you can finish your story because I'm going to be working. I'm going to be using the new fall Masterboards decoupage paper. And I know that I shouldn't love my own designs, you guys, but I love this paper so much. I've already done several projects using it because you just get so much out of one piece of paper, which is why I love creating the masterboards. And you have so many options. So what I'm gonna do for this one, I really want my little birdie and my mushrooms on my tray. I kind of decided earlier. So once I get it where I want it, I'm just gonna take my fingernail and just kind of score it. That way I'll know where to trim my paper before I start decoupaging. Okay, babe, you can finish now.
I was just gonna say, I'm with the Borgers. I would go visit my mom or pick her up, bring her to us, and she eventually had heart surgery, so she moved in with us. It was cheap. That was the great thing. I mean,
yeah,
Mom wasn't cooking because she didn't have to. You could go somewhere and get a $12 dinner.
Yes.
And it was a good dinner.
Yeah.
And Vegas, I talked I think a little bit more than you did with like the bellman and the ballet guys, and they were saying it has radically changed, that gaming revenue is such a small part of the revenue now for these big ownership groups.
Yeah.
That the hotels are, they're pricey. We stayed at a great one.
If you're gonna get a motel in Vegas, so I was on Priceline for 3 solid hours trying to book a room, and I am not exaggerating, because you'd find a motel that was like a decent price, but then when you go to check out, there'd be like a resort fee of like $300. You know, it was insane. And then the less expensive motels, charged for every little thing. So ultimately, you would end up spending more money than you thought you were going to spend. So
There were some that were charging for use of the mini fridge.
yeah,
Not a mini bar.
yeah,
which
or
we
not the
understand.
stuff that was already in there, like the drinks and stuff,
Right.
but actually using
Using.
the mini fridge,
Yeah.
which is just insanity.
So we wound up at one that we really, really liked. We will definitely use it again.
Yeah.
Not the cheapest on the planet.
Well, but we knew exactly what we were
comparatively-
going to be in for because everything was included in the price.
Exactly.
Because we had friends who stayed at a less expensive motel, and I bet you they ended up spending about as much as we did.
Yep.
Because they got charged. They got nickeled and dimed
Yep.
the whole time that they were there. And so it wasn't MGM Signature. We stayed in the towers, so we didn't stay with the high rollers in the actual MGM motel. But
Which, by the way, had to sign up $65 for valet. And we couldn't figure out, is that we're paying for valet for our entire stay or per night? Or
we didn't pay anything for our valet.
No,
just to
so
be
I just
clear.
valeted the guys $5 every time I saw him.
I know, yeah, but we tipped a lot, but I think
Yeah.
it's just because we recognize the cost of living is so high, and I don't know, we're blessed. You want to be a blessing to people when you're
You know,
blessed.
I've noticed a lack of tipping in Vegas too. See, because again, when I went with my mom, or to visit my mom, and I would take the kids, we valeted everywhere. So I'm used to, you tip when you drop the car off, you tip when you pick it up,
Yes.
because that's how these guys make their money. I was seeing people not tip,
Yep.
and the one that really surprised me was when we went to that buffet. At the end, I went up and I tipped the lobster guy,
Yes.
because that was always the rule. You tip the guy at the carving station.
Yes.
That lobster guy worked his behind off,
He really did.
and he looked at me and went, "Wow, thank you." I'm like, don't people do this anymore?
I think because everything is so expensive that people just figure they've already paid.
You have to. These
I
are
know.
working folks. They're good people.
Because I tipped the lady who took care of us with our drinks and stuff the whole time. Even though I know at a buffet you don't typically tip, but I did because she worked her hiney off. Because my husband was filling that bucket up and she kept it empty.
Yeah. So the guys that I talked to all said it's hotel revenue, it's restaurant revenue. That's where they're making their money. Event revenue.
Yeah.
Gaming is a much, much smaller part of the pie now. As little as 10% in some of these casinos.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, oh, really? And he's like, yeah, 100%. Well, think about it. Towards the end, like when we did the lobster thing, we started eating earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd eat at like 2 or 3. Well, we're old folks. We're not going to eat at dinner again.
No.
So we went for dessert.
Yes.
We didn't spend less than 60 or 70 bucks on dessert.
I know.
I think ice cream was the only one where we...
The one that we went to the first night, I think it was $54.
Yeah.
But we were treating ourselves, though.
It was, but there
we
were no
worked really
bargains.
hard, so that was
There really weren't bargains to be found. And if you could find a bargain, like that one we went to on the last day, the fish and chips,
Yes,
we got what we paid for.
we did. I thought, it was beautiful and it was crunchy. It just wasn't seasoned.
You had no flavor.
If they would have just put a little salt and pepper, it would have been perfect. Just
It was
salt and
a
pepper,
beer
y'all.
battered fish that had no flavor. How do you do that? Well, I know how you do it. You used an ale instead of a dark beer like you
Yeah.
use when you make yours. So there's flavor in
Yeah.
the breading. So
You guys see how easy that is? Once I spritz that paper, it just stretches out and then I don't have to worry about any wrinkles. Isn't that gonna be so cute? I meant to bring my stencils out. I bought some fall stencils. But what I'm gonna do for this one is, actually I have it in my back pocket because I know somebody's gonna ask, how do you hang that? So when I'm done with this piece,
did that
I'll
just turn off, or did it?
Yeah, this one actually has
It regulates.
yeah, it regulates. Unlike
Okay.
ours in the house.
All right.
I'm going to take a piece of probably 300 grit sandpaper and I'll sand a spot really good to rough it up. And the same thing on the back of my D-ring. And then I'm going to use some E6000 and glue that on there and let it really cure. And that should be enough for me to be able to hang this piece. I think that I might put this on the front door. Maybe I'll put a welcome. You know what, baby?
No.
Hold on, you guys. I'll be right back. Maybe
No,
you
I'll
can tell
do
a
it. I'll
story.
do it. I'm just
no, it's
kidding.
okay because I think I know where it is.
Where's your thing? Is it clipped on you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. See, mine's not. I would be knocking it over.
I know you have me like I'm mobile now.
Kathleen O'Brien Hoovas says you should do a Sunday live with the texture medium, then decoupage. Her piece was amazing. I didn't understand what medium she used. I'm not sure what she's referring to.
For a hikers.
Yeah.
It was just a texture medium that she used. There's a lot of different ones on the market. So you guys see me use salt wash most of the time. So it's some kind of a product. Hers was just a different brand. That's all.
Wendy Reese Purdy, I taught my 18-year-old granddaughter to decoupage. We did an end table, so much fun.
Yeah. And I mean, 18 is perfect, right? Because she can go to the thrift store and buy a piece of furniture at a decent price. We can't say cheap anymore because those days are over. But she can buy it at a decent price, and then she can put it in her apartment. Yeah.
You can get a $5, $10 dresser. You got to look.
Those are too big.
They're not like hanging off of the trees, but they're out there.
Yes. If this were bigger, you guys, I got these at, I want to say I got them at Dollar Tree. Yeah, Dollar Tree. This one says thankful and blessed. If it was a little bigger, I could add that right there on top of there, right? But even this one, my friend cut this one. From here, they have a huge CNC machine. They can cut anything.
Pat Reed, where is the all-you-can-eat lobster? It's at the Palms Casino in Las Vegas on Wednesdays. And you have to get there really, really early. Like I say, we got there at 10:30. There were people that were in line long before us, front of the line. They were serious.
They were more serious than
I recommend go with a group.
Yeah.
And you're going to be in line for a good 4 or 5 hours. And
Or
you're going to eat
2
early.
hours and then probably another 2
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah, and you're going to eat very early. So
Well, they had a 4 o'clock. We went for the 2 o'clock, but there is a 4 o'clock serving.
correct. And that line, you get to about 11:30. That line could literally fill the casino.
Yes.
They had it running along the back wall and into the event center.
Yes.
So those folks were hidden away where the stage is. It was a long line. Carmen Murray, I've seen some artists paint the back of the paper white before decoupaging their project. Does the paint make the paper stiffer?
So it depends on what you're doing. So like on this one, it was super easy. If we have time tonight, what time is it? Oh, it's almost 6 o'clock. I'll do a project so I can show you because I have my label paper here and I think we'll have time. So if you're doing a project like this where you can just paint the surface and put the paper, then it's fine. You don't have to worry about painting the paper.
Can
Generally,
you turn the tray around because it looks upside down on the screen.
okay.
So
Generally, when you're painting like a medallion on something, you'll see them paint the paper white on the back just because you don't want to get paint anywhere else except for behind the paper. But some people do prefer painting the back white because it makes the paper a little bit stiffer, but it's still thin enough that it practically disappears on your project.
no, the other way.
I had it the other way when you told me
No,
to turn
well,
around.
maybe I'm late.
I think it's the time.
delay.
The delayed, yeah.
Oh, yep, I'm seeing you turning it now on
Okay.
YouTube. There you go.
So when I was putting this, I was super careful not to get product around the sides because you guys can see how the paper is just a little too big. So what I'll do is I'll let this dry completely and then I'll take my a sharp blade and I'll go around and trim. Now we probably won't get to trim this during tonight's live. I do want to tell you guys a secret. When you are cutting let me find something that I can use.
Redeemed is going to Maine in 2 weeks. Bring on the lobster.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be nice fresh caught lobster too. When you guys trim your paper, there's 3 things I want you guys to really remember. Chances are there is product that's pulled in the place where your 2 edges meet.
It's still upside down. The mushroom towards you.
Okay. With the bottom towards me?
Yes.
Okay. So the place where the bottom and the side meets right here, you're likely to have product that pulls in there. So even if the surface of your paper feels dry, there may still be moisture trapped in there. So after you think it's completely dry, let it dry some more. So that's my first tip. My second one is to use a super sharp knife so that you're cutting your paper instead of tearing it. And then the third tip is, rather than trying to hold your knife down and try to get in the right area and hopefully you're trimming in the right place, it's a lot easier if you point your blade toward the side and you use the side as a guide, so that when you're trimming it, that you trim it really clean, and then that way you don't have to worry about adding anything around the edges to cover up the edges, because everything's gonna look super clean.
Gina and Das just popped in for a bit during dinner. Now I want lobster. So we went to Las Vegas for, it was business.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we went to Flagstaff for business. We did.
Should we talk about Flagstaff a little bit?
Yes.
I've gotten a couple of questions because I keep saying I'm going for a pitch contest, and people are like, well, what is that? So you guys know about Shark Tales. No, not Shark Tales. I'm going to hang out with the grandbaby too much. Mm-hmm. Shark Tank is when people come and they have to present their business ideas, right, for an opportunity.
They're seeking investors.
Yeah, they're seeking investors. So for this specific contest, it was run by a local kind of small business development center in northern Arizona. And so it's a nonprofit organization. So we were pitching for grant dollars to help support our businesses. And so all over the state of Arizona for the last 10 months, they've been having local pitch contests in each of the counties, different communities, and ours was the last on the program. So I won our local pitch contest, and so then I had an opportunity to go and to compete against 9 other businesses from all across Arizona for a chance to win $10,000. And so we had 5 minutes to talk about our businesses, in the 5 minutes, the history of your business, what impact it has, what makes it different from other businesses, and then what are you going to use the money for? 5 minutes, y'all.
Now, it's important to say, at the local one, you spent a day with the judges refining your pitch.
Yes.
So they had a good understanding of everybody's pitches.
Yeah, and everybody's businesses too.
Right. At the final one, we didn't even know who the judges were.
We did not.
So you didn't know what the judges were looking for. So you didn't really have a chance to refine your pitch.
No, it's whatever. Well, but everybody was the same, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you were excluded in some way. You weren't.
Yeah.
So nobody knew really what the judges were seeking.
What they were looking for. Yeah. So we really didn't know. But it was a really cool experience. I learned a lot. And I think that what I learned, I'll be able to utilize. I am better able to articulate what my business is and what I do than I was before I started this project. A little bit better. I still have to work on my elevator speech, you guys, because I want to tell people all the things.
Yeah, one sentence, it's still tough. I will say this, and you tease me about being biased.
He's biased.
I am a journalist by profession. I really, really try my hardest to be as objective as I can. I know subjectivity comes in. We're human. It is what it is. I legitimately thought you gave the best pitch.
I love you too.
I'm being very serious. I thought you hit all the high points. You did it in the time, because a lot of people didn't do it in the time. And if you didn't do it in 5 minutes, you were cut off.
Yeah, that was it.
That was the deal. One guy was a little short, so he started singing Kumbaya. He won the fans' choice. He won the
people's choice. They were, oh man, did I cut that too short? I cannot believe I did that.
So you were spot on the time. You hit all your points. You didn't bumble, stumble. I thought you were very effective. That said, and I've told you this, I didn't think you were going to win because of the guy who went first, who did sustainable farming.
I know.
And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, how can anybody beat this guy?
Yeah.
Because he's hitting every point perfectly. We can reduce water consumption. We can improve food quality.
We can
it was
give
involving
small farmers an opportunity to sell more of their crops.
right, dealing with local farmers rather than what do you call those industrial farms.
Yes,
I'm like, holy cow, this guy is in. He didn't win.
I know.
It was a guy who does teardrop RVs
Yes,
in a nearby community, Globe, which isn't that far from us,
yes.
and a good pitch.
Very
I thought
good.
he had a very good pitch. He talked about hiring
I
more
think
people.
he was going to have the largest impact economically on his community, and I think that's why he won.
Yeah, so I'm not saying he wasn't a worthy winner.
Yeah.
He was. But I thought the one guy had the thing that everybody would be looking for.
Yeah.
And I thought from a strictly presentation standpoint, I thought yours was the best presentation. So I thought it was going to be between you two, and the other guy snuck up on me.
Well, we really don't know where I was, because they
Correct.
didn't really. It was just a winner and a people's choice, and that was it. So it's not like, I knew, how I did in comparison to other people.
And I said after the fact, because they gave us a QR code for the people's choice,
Yes.
I should have copied the link and immediately posted it to this group.
He was going to try to cheat, is what he's
Yes,
saying,
I
you
was.
guys.
So, but I thought it was worthwhile going. We met some
Yes.
great business owners.
We did.
I talked with two of them about if they ever look to expand, come to our area.
Yeah.
The one who does deliveries, food deliveries, which was a great idea.
Really good idea. Because we had one guy at our table who was making technology to train pilots at Embry-Riddle, for goodness sakes. I mean, the businesses were just, you had a farmer, a trailer manufacturer, decoupage paper.
Lady who did salsas, but regional salsas.
Yes, a restaurant. It was just the businesses varied so much.
Yep.
I would have not wanted to be a judge for that.
So, I thought it was a good experience. Would have been better if you'd won, but I thought it was a good experience. Vegas was market.
Yes, we went to market. Market is where shops go to order products. It's where you go see what's going to be trending next season and all that stuff. Although the summer market is the smaller one, but we were contemplating exhibiting at market in January, and so we wanted to go and see what it was about exactly before we made that kind of investment, because it's like $4,000 just for your booth.
Yeah. Candace Clay says, still a win when you learn new things. I've always said,
Yes.
I've learned more from my mistakes than I ever did from my successes.
Yes.
I'm not calling this a mistake,
No.
but the loss did show us. I mean, you've talked about it for a few weeks now. Oh, I know what I need to do if there's ever another opportunity.
I know, poor David. He's had to hear I could have been a contender. No, I'm just kidding.
I think you're 100% right. There are things that it showed.
Yes.
So
I should have spent a little more time talking about what the product is, I think.
Yeah.
There were a lot of men who were judges, because everyone who came up to me afterwards were women. The ones who wanted to know more information and who were excited about my pitch.
And the ones I talked to were the business owners. I just wanted to talk to business owners because I
Yeah.
promote our area as a member of the tourism committee. So, and if I can do some economic development, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Market, we walked away from market unsure. Is that a fair
We're
way to
not
put it?
ready yet. I just don't think we're ready yet
Yeah.
for that kind of a
And
thing.
I don't know if there's enough locally owned stores that go to market that that are ready to consider recycled products.
And then, to be fair, babe, we went in the summertime. January's market is completely different.
It is.
Like, it's way more. But I know what you're saying.
I'm looking at big buyers, and we don't work with chain stores. We work
we work with
individuals.
locally owned boutiques. And,
and I just don't know if there's enough that go to there that are considering branching into a crafting product.
Yes.
Without impacting the existing businesses that have, because
we protect territories.
yeah. So it was interesting. I enjoyed it.
He wouldn't let me buy stuff for the house, you guys, that I could have got wholesale.
No. I wouldn't let you buy a giant rug that we could not carry. Because it's cash and carry and literally carry it out.
Oh.
And we had to take a shuttle to get to our car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could have put the rug on the shuttle.
But I did encourage you to buy those cans, and you didn't.
I know, I did not. Because I can get cans at the thrift store. Yeah, like the one I just decoupaged.
There was some cash and carry, but mostly it was pre-orders.
Yes.
People taking pre-orders. It was fun to see how the booths set up.
Yeah, that was, I mean, I was like checking that out.
And we had a big discussion about this. I said if we do set up there, Royce should do demonstrations, much what she's doing right now. And you thought maybe not necessarily.
No, I just said I don't know.
Right. That's why I say not necessarily. Because there really was only one demonstration we saw.
Yes. There was only one demo there. I just don't know. I feel like the shops that would carry my products already know. You know what I'm saying? Like they already understand what I'm doing.
But going to market is people that don't know.
Well,
because that's who you're trying to reach, are people that don't know that this is an opportunity for them as well to sell. But, you know, if one of our friends owns a clothing store, does she want to carry Decoupage product?
Well, no, but
Probably
they have a
not.
different market for that. Babe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know if I'm a lamp store, do I want Decoupage product?
Probably not.
Probably not.
But if you're a small boutique, though, who carries, you know, other stuff, you may.
Yeah. So it was very interesting. I'm glad we went. But we walked away just probably not.
Yeah. You guys know what? So the bottom of my my basket is smaller than the top, right? So I can't lay this completely flat, but I'm kind of taking advantage of the weave of the basket to hide the extra paper. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to like snip this paper right here to loosen it up so that I can have more mobility here at the top. And I'm putting down a lot of product on top of this, and I'm using my brush to kind of push that paper into the weave. So somebody asked earlier about whether or not the paper would conform. I'm going to show this to you after I'm done so that you can see that by spraying my paper and wetting it, it really does help the paper to conform. Now you have to be nicer to your paper because it's wet, and so it's going to be, you know, a little bit more fragile, but it's certainly more hardy than, say, a napkin would be, right? If I had wet a napkin, it would be probably torn up by now. But the 18-pound tissue really is a nice weight. It still disappears into your products, but it's still hardy enough for you to be able to manipulate it.
I have no idea why.
And
I now have a pause button over my
YouTube,
YouTube, so I can't really see you. Verla McDonald asks, Royce, are you applying a heavy coat of decoupage glue on the basket and then more on top?
I am. So I'm laying down quite a bit because the weave has texture, right? So some of the medium is going into the weave, and I want to make sure that the paper adheres wherever it touches. And then now I'm going back over the top of the paper with, more back over the paper with more decoupage medium, because I really want it to form to the weave of the basket. And also this will seal my paper in the long run, because when it dries, I'll have a protective coat on the top of my paper. But I'm being really heavy-handed with the medium. I'm sure you guys see that. And it's because I really want my paper to conform to the weave of the basket. This is going to be so pretty, and I think it's going to be really pretty with the brown of the basket, because the white's you're not going to know that this is painted white underneath. You're just going to see this design on here.
Dorothy Lage asks, can you ask for feedback on the presentation? It probably won't let you see your score, but they might give you what you did well and what you did not.
We can. So the people who we would be able to contact for feedback are the ones that we worked with already. And so the judges' feedback would be different. And the judges were from all over the state, really fragmented. You know what I mean, Dorothy? So I don't know. I'm going to try, though. I'm going to ask. I already, poor Scott, he's probably tired of me by now. But you guys, I'm a little much. So yes, I think probably at like a Zoom call or something in the future where we have an opportunity to speak to somebody, I'll probably ask that question. Because yeah, I'd be curious to know, what I could have done to improve. And ironically, I'm getting ready to apply for, it's a loan, but it's a 0% loan. And I was just going to go like fill out the application, but no, they want you to upload videos. So it's kind of like an online pitch. No, it's specific questions.
I know.
Yeah. So essentially they're asking me to put together a pitch for the application. Yeah. And so because I had this experience, right, I'm actually prepared to do that. I just have to, I think we can get it done this week too before it closes.
Flea Brown says her brother and nephew went to Embry-Riddle. You dated a guy from Embry, or a couple of guys, didn't you, from Embry-Riddle?
Not a couple.
Just one?
Just one.
I thought you had a couple of guys you dated when you were in college.
Well, yeah, but Embry-Riddle wasn't my college. That was the other college.
I know, but
yeah.
I mean, you were in Prescott.
Yeah, I was in Prescott. The other guys went to school with me. They didn't go to Embry-Riddle.
Oh, okay. I'm not suggesting you were like tramping around or anything. It's okay to date more than one person in college.
No, I dated one young man from Embry-Riddle. But we hung out there a lot because it was like 85% boys at that school.
Yeah. Hey, I went to a school with 1,000 students, 900 women.
Yes.
I get it. Karen Moyer, did you check into the stationery show in New York? It's in May unless they've changed it. It's held at the Javits Center and on the piers.
Oh, I might have to check it out. Because we were looking at H&H has a show in Chicago, but it's primarily fiber arts. But I understand that they're trying to like include more craft-based kind of businesses. So we're open, and I kind of want to travel and hang out with you guys next year too. So I want to leave my schedule open a little bit.
Angie Champagne, do any of your retailers have booths in shops or resellers malls?
Yes. So I have almost, I don't know how many I have.
Karen Moyer says hers is in an antique mall.
Yeah, I have over 200 retailers. I don't know the exact number. Some of them are in brick and mortars. Some of them are online only. Some of them have multiple booths in their community. Some of them have a booth. So it really varies from retailer to retailer. It's really cool that I get to work with all these small businesses like all over the world.
Carmen Murray, I always stay longer at booths that show me how their products work and what you can do with them, reaching people who have never heard of decoupage or still think of it like in the past.
Yeah, that's true. When I first started, I used to always say, this ain't your grandma's decoupage, but I stopped saying that because I'm a grandma. And I decoupage.
Pat Reed says, what was your medium again?
I'm using Wise Owl's 1-hour enamel is what I'm using, 1-hour enamel clear, but you can use any water-based, clear coat or top coat, or you can use Mod Podge if that's what you have. When I used to use Mod Podge, though, I would water it down just a bit so it wouldn't be as tacky, so I could manipulate my paper a little bit more. But chances are, whoever your recycled retailer is, they have like a clear coat or a top coat. That would work for you to decoupage.
Celestine Todd has two things. One, what is that paper?
This is the new fall masterboard paper. Okay. And this one is so fun. There's so many goodies in this paper. You can make so many projects with it. And you guys love birds so much. So there's a bunch of birds. And then somebody said they had missed my old botanicals because I used to make a lot of botanical designs. And so this specific design was in response to input from customers. So there are a lot of botanicals and a lot of birds in this design.
And she says something that you learned in your pitch. Some people, when you talk to them about crafts, they seem to think of it more of as a hobby and not the money you're able to make.
Yes. I mean, and I talked about the business side of it, and I also talked about specifically because of what we do, the environmental impacts, right? Because everything that we're using to make our projects today are things that we found at the thrift store that, quite frankly, the people who donated to that thrift store considered it not having value. But when we go and we repurpose it and then we sell the things, we give it value, right?
And what did you find was the dollar value of crafting in the U.S.?
Oh, I forgot. It was something like $9.5 billion.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Maybe
just
that was
in the
worldwide.
US. No, that one was
US?
just in the U.S. Yeah.
So
that was all the crafts, but still,
right,
in the crafting industry, $9.5 billion just in the US. It's
a huge number. So Celestine's 100% right.
Yes, and I talked about that in my pitch to Celestine.
You even said that there is money to be made
in crafts.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to set this aside for the same reason we set the platter aside, right? Because you guys saw how much product I put in, and you can just imagine how much is caught in between those spaces. So I'm gonna let this sit for a few minutes, but let's trim our can at least. We'll finish one project, but you guys can imagine once I peel away the blue paper, right, we're gonna have this really pretty brown against the paper. I think that's gonna be super pretty. And then I'm gonna put some fall florals in here, and I'll stage this, and I'll be sure and post a picture.
Flea Brown asks, do you need customer testimonials?
Yes.
She volunteers.
Thank you, Flea. I appreciate that. Actually, you know what? I have a coach who helps me with my business, and she was harassing me last week about that. So, Flea, are you in cahoots with Serena?
Dorothy Lage says your business is an enabler.
It's an enabler?
Yeah.
Well, Dorothy, though, but how much joy have you found?
And she talks about Tucson Junksters who are in an antique mall.
Yes.
We love the Junksters. Let's see.
Now, for my new people, what I'm doing is, you guys see that I had my paper overhanging. You can cut it. You can use like a blade and cut it, but my favorite way to trim is just with a sanding block, and I always drag it one direction, just down, and I really focus on the edge here. And I get this beautiful, clean trim so that when I'm decoupaging, I don't have to worry about like making it perfect, because I know that I can come in after everything is dry and I can trim it. And I like to wait for my paper to be dry. Some people, they prefer to do it when their paper is still wet. My personal preference is to wait until it's dry, because I feel like I get a much cleaner trim without any like tears. It looks like it's been cut rather than torn off. So for this specific project, I wanted a really clean edge, and so I'm using this technique.
From that 9.5 billion, Dana Block says her husband would say she's 1 billion of that. And Kelly Madeira asks, how much water do you add to the enamel? What's the ratio?
I don't add any water to the enamel. This is the consistency that you guys see is the consistency of the enamel. When I'm using Mod Podge, because it's so thick, I usually add water to the Mod Podge, and I would say like maybe a quarter, like for every 4 tablespoons of Mod Podge, I'll add like 1 tablespoon of water.
So 1 to 4?
Yeah, like 1 to 4. So it's like the consistency of like whole milk, kinda. I always use food. But doesn't that remind you guys of the old thermoses, but only with fall colors instead of the red and white? And so this went from being like, I'll probably paint the bottom too, just so it looks finished, but it went from being like this old ice cream tin that somebody didn't think had any value to now being completely cute, and I can put some florals in here and I can set this in my space. And this will probably go to the shop. I don't know if I'll keep this one, because I'm making my living room, I'm doing a reset, but all my projects are kind of not spooky. I'm calling it dark academia slash apothecary.
Oh, so that begs another question, but before, that's a question we have to ask everybody.
Yes.
How do Angie Champagne? How can I locate a retailer near me?
If you go to roycycle.com, you can find a list of retailers by location. And most of my retailers will ship. So if you don't have anyone near you, you can reach out to the closest retailer and they will ship to you. I know that we have retailers who are on with us tonight. So if you guys want to drop the links to your websites where customers can find your papers, that would be awesome. If you are in the group, Roycycled Upcycling with Decoupage, you can just like put a post in there that you're looking for a retailer, and I'm sure one of the Roycycled retailers would love to take care of you. Especially if you're looking for a specific design.
Celestine says you shouldn't feel discouraged that maybe wasn't the setting for crafting.
Yeah.
You were for about a day.
For about a day, just because the thing is you have to pump yourself up to do it, right?
Yeah.
You got to pump yourself up just so you can get up there, because I'm talking in front of it wasn't a huge room, but it wasn't a small room either. And I didn't know anybody in that room, so I had to pump myself up pretty good just to get up there to give the presentation. So, it was just a little bit of a letdown, but
I was intimidated by the pilot trainer.
Yeah.
Just sitting at our table chatting.
Yeah.
Nice guy, great guy.
Yes.
And he's talking about this high-tech stuff that he's developed.
Yes.
And it's like, holy cow, why wouldn't you invest in that?
I mean, I didn't have a bad attitude at any point. I was just disappointed.
Yeah.
But not like, oh, I should have won and they shouldn't. Not like that. Just,
no.
Oh.
No.
But you have to pump yourself up so hard just to get up there and do it, that when you come down,
Dorothy Lage, best to develop a relationship. That's the key.
Yes. And multiple relationships.
Yep. The more you deal with folks, the better a working relationship is.
Yes.
So Royce is resetting. Our local library here in Safford, Arizona, has a group called the Friends of the Library.
Yes.
And they support the library.
Oh, yeah.
They just fundraise to help the library.
Yes.
It's a nonprofit, of course. Buy books, pay for programming, because everything at our library is free. There's no cost. They've started, this will be the third year now, doing a radio auction, which I am part of as a host on the radio show, or on the radio station. And we do it on 2 of our stations. We have 3 stations in our group. 2 of our stations. Runs for 2 hours one morning from 8 to 10 Arizona time. But you can also hear it online. So I'm trying to convince Royce to donate a piece or 2. And I'm curious if she did, because you can listen online and you can bid online. I'll even give the people here the super secret number to text bids. Would you guys be interested?
Let's clarify that Royce is completely willing to give something.
Yeah.
But David wants me to do a piece of furniture, and my input to him is that I can't ship furniture. I mean, you can, piece. But even a
take
small
for example
piece of furniture,
the toolbox there.
That's not furniture. That's what I can do that.
Oh.
When you say small piece of furniture, I'm thinking
like an end table, or
Yeah, but an end table is still it's more than the post office will ship, and then it gets difficult.
Well, I mean, people would have to pay for the shipping.
I know.
I mean,
just
that's
saying. I don't
I'm
know
just
if I'm going to
curious.
be able to part with this, you guys. I really do love it. Yeah, so he's curious if you guys would participate in the auction.
Ellison Johnston on YouTube says, I love Apothecary. My dresser and nightstand is 1980s-ish Apothecary set. I don't know if she means 1980 or 1880. It needs something. Could I possibly send you pics for ideas if it's allowed?
Oh, yeah. Just message me through Facebook. I'll take a look.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So good. Folks are putting on their website addresses. Outstanding. Kathleen Hoovis asked you apply the top coat in one direction.
I don't. I just do it haphazard. This is a matte medium, and so I know that it's not going to leave any texture on the top, so I don't worry about it as much. If it was a shinier where it's going to show brush strokes, I would probably be more careful about it. But on this one, I'm going across mostly because that's how the weave of the paper is. And I'm getting some bleed through, because I probably should have used a white primer rather than white paint, but even that's kind of cool.
Dana Block and Kathleen O'Brien Hoovis says, no, something smaller. Shipping's out of control.
Yeah. Yes.
So, okay.
Yeah, shipping, it's expensive and it's gotten more expensive. And it's just harder anyways. Once you get over, I want to say 25 by 25 by 25 and 50 pounds, you can't send it by USPS. And it's not like it gets a little bit more expensive after that. It goes up like a lot after that. And so I don't want shipping to be a deterrent from somebody participating.
The reason I suggest it is because we're in a weird area. So we've gone to shows, you've set up in places, and some places it's just bring the materials because I can make it.
Yes.
Okay, great. Other places it's bring pre-made stuff because I want to walk out with something that I can just set up in my living room and I'm done. The wine festival was very much it better be
yes, they
pre-made.
wanted stuff that was already made and they didn't want to have to fiddle
Right.
with it. But then the one show we went to at Bears the first year, I sold out of my boneyard and none of my made things sold.
Exactly, because that was people coming because they know Bear.
Yeah, and they were coming to go picking.
Exactly. Our community looks at what Royce does and says, oh, I could do that.
Yeah.
Now, they can't do it like Royce, but we have a very hands-on maker community.
Yes.
So it's tough to sell stuff that Royce makes here.
Yeah.
Including, because you donated last year, and it moved, but it didn't move quick or fast like it would with an audience that appreciates it.
Yeah.
So that's why I was asking, would you guys be interested in checking out the auction online?
Let us know.
Yeah, just let us know.
And it'll go
be
to
in
our
September.
local. And the Friends of the Library is what they do is they help to support the library to kind of fill in the gaps, because you guys know funding keeps shrinking more and more and more, and our libraries are really important. And there are people who think that libraries aren't important, but in our community, our library doesn't just check out books. They have programming for little kids, so moms with little ones can go to the library for reading time. They have after school, programs set up for the older kids. They have computers for people to do job hunting. I mean, there's so much that they do there at the library.
We're at an hour and 27
we're
minutes.
at 6 and 27. So I was trying to get this done so they could at least see this one. We can get 2 projects completely finished, I think.
Oh, Tracy Brauman. Lately, I've had bubbles under my decoupage. What do you suspect I'm doing to cause this?
Are you working section by section, Tracy? Sometimes it can be like you guys saw me with the can. I tried to lay down that whole piece of paper at once. So I trapped air underneath there, and that's how I got the bubbles. Sometimes it can be that if you were not putting enough product. So whenever I'm laying down product on a surface, I'll look at the surface from the side to make sure that I haven't left spots. Because even when you think you've covered the entire surface, you look from the side and you'll see a whole area that's completely dry, where you haven't put any product. And so if you don't have any product or enough product, then your paper is not going to adhere in that spot. And so those are just a few things, a few suggestions for why you might be getting air underneath your decoupage.
Let's see. Shannon Booth is getting a brand new library in her town. Very
Ooh,
cool.
Nice.
Dorothy Leitch would buy an auction, which reminds her she just missed an auction with Robin's song.
I know, Robin's stuff is so pretty.
Carmen Daumer says, absolutely, we would share it with others. Do libraries take books in very good condition? Our library takes donations for the little libraries.
Oh yeah, they have like little libraries all over town where kids can check out books and bring them back. They are so cute. They're like little houses.
They almost look like big bird houses.
Yes.
And they'll take books. You just walk up, take a book out, bring a book back.
Yes.
And you can bring a different book back if you want.
Yes.
So I know ours takes donations for that. I should take them some of the trade paperbacks that I have. I think I'll do that.
Paperbacks?
Yeah, the comic book trade paperbacks that I have.
I know. I'm
of.
just thinking paperbacks for the outdoor thing.
Yeah, well, it's covered. It's in a little wood thing.
It is.
So,
how cute is that, you guys? Sorry, I got way too excited when I saw it. Right? By leaving that brown there. Sorry.
no, that's fine.
Yes.
I just realized that.
Oh, and for those of you that were asking about the colored shirts, I did finally make arrangements with my local print shop. So if you guys put hashtag shirt in the comments, you guys will get the link to be able to buy the shirts.
Okay, Paige Comer on YouTube. This is addressing you. The hashtag only works on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, it only works on Facebook. But you know what? I'll go back and I'll put a link in the comments on YouTube when we go in the house.
And Paige is asking where are the websites. She's not seeing any but her comments because she's commenting a lot. Those links are also on Facebook.
They're on Facebook.
But if you're on YouTube and you have a shop, post your link
Yes.
there because people can see it and get there too.
And then you can also go to roycycle.com, and I'll put all of this in the description for this video. And there's at the top of the website, it says retailers. And if you click on that, there will be a list of retailers by state. And you can look in there and you can see where those retailers are, and you can also see their websites.
Is it shirt or shirts, or will both work?
It's just shirt. Sorry, I did double check before we came
Because
out.
I've got people putting both.
Oh, it's singular, hashtag shirt. And because it's a robot, it's not a person, it has to be exact. So it's singular, hashtag shirt.
And the hashtag will only work on Facebook, but
Yes.
there will be a link put up on YouTube.
Yes, I will put a link up on YouTube.
So you are.
And there are 4 colors that are available. I'm wearing the Dusty Rose or whatever this color is tonight. Am I done? Are you kicking me
an hour
off?
and a half.
I'm trying to fix my thingy, my screen, but it's not working. Oh, Lord.
You should. Carmen says you should put this basket in the auction.
I should put this basket? You think so? So low. Okay, there we go. I think it came out cute, right? Just a little basket I paid a couple of dollars for, and I can put some really pretty fall flowers in there. And I'm thinking about even like hanging a tag, right? That would be super cute.
So let me ask before somebody else does, are you going to do anything on the back?
No. Well, I mean, it's a basket. It's in good shape. So I'm going to leave the back.
Well, it's a flat basket, so it's designed to be on a wall, right?
Yes, it'll be on the wall. So no one will see the back.
Right.
But I think
Usually people ask, will you do anything on the back?
Yes.
Carmen says, yes, I want it.
I'm going to be going to Carmen's place in October to go hang out. I'm super excited. I'm sorry, was I supposed to tell that, Carmen?
Boy, Kim Compracher, she's just giving you grief left and right. That basket is so cute, but it would also be cute in the bell tartan. No, I don't think that one tartan wouldn't work on that one, but
it actually would look cute.
Really?
I contemplated.
I like this.
I contemplated using one of the tartans on there, but then I picked up this paper, and I had one more craft, but we're out of time. It's okay. We'll do it next week. So this is the plan, you guys, for the next couple of weeks. See, I'm trying to trim this because I want to show you guys, and I'm tearing it because I have product still in that little crevice. We went thrifting.
Oh, everybody wants to see your shirt.
Oh, you guys can, it's the same, but they're just colored. And these are the women's. So if you may want to size up one size, because it's a women's cut, it's a V-neck, and it's soft. I don't know. They're really nice. And they're like the heathered, is that what you call it? You guys know when it has like that variation, in the color. But there's a green, there's this one, there's a light pink one, and there's another color I can't remember. But they're all there on the page. And so it doesn't look like my website, so don't freak out when you go there. It's just that the reason why I hesitated to offer them to you guys is because I have to go out and buy like 50 million 11 shirts. And whenever I buy sizes, people always buy one size, and I end up left with like a ton of one size or a ton of one color.
It's the nature of shirts. It doesn't matter. This year at Battle of the Bands, we couldn't keep 2X's in.
Yeah,
But the
right?
previous year, we sold out of smalls and mediums because all the band girlfriends
Yes,
wanted smalls and mediums.
yes.
You just never know.
And so I'm actually partnering with a local print shop to make the shirts. So they're made for you guys as you order. And so that's why I'm able to offer this opportunity. So I wanted to keep it affordable too. So this makes it easier for me to offer you guys an affordable price. So they're super cute though. I have them in all the colors because I like them a lot. And I'm going to have to let this dry, but I'll make sure, I promise, I'm going to finish. Well, I finished two. 2 out of 3 isn't bad, right? I finished
That's
two
what
projects.
Meatloaf said.
Huh?
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Oh, and so that's not horrible. And then when I get this one trimmed and get the D hook on it, then I'll show. I should put something on here, right? Like,
You do have a lot of, you have some open space there, and I'm a fan of negative space. I am.
yeah, but I don't want to
But I
just
think
hang it
I
like
think
this.
that needs a little something.
It needs something. So I'll figure out something. I'm thinking about a wood cutout that says welcome or it's fall, y'all. I don't know. We'll figure out something to put in there. But
Kim Rogers asked, do you know how long the shirts are?
they're pretty long, Kim, because I'm tall and like they're here. I'm okay. Look, I'm wearing pajama pants, y'all. I'm just telling you. I didn't think you guys were going to see my bottom half. But, oh, you can't see. See? I mean, they're not like long past your butt long, but they're long. They're not like, short where they're going to be rolling up and showing your belly. And I'm 6 feet tall. So if you're shorter, that it may be past your butt long. Maybe.
Well, you can see your pants a little bit. You can see that it comes down into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pamela Culp Adair, could you get it made into an iron-on? They don't last.
So I don't even know why I'm bringing up this because I bought some from one of those places that make the presses. Remember, I bought a press, I bought all the things, and then it didn't work. And I thought it was me. So I took it to my friend who actually presses shirts. She sells shirts, is what she does. And they didn't even work for her either. So I just did it like this. And honestly, time. If you guys were waiting for me to make t-shirts, it wouldn't be good. It would not be good.
I will get you the library auction next week, the date for
Yeah.
that. So
I'm excited. So I'm going to make something. I just don't know what. I'm just suggesting to David that it be something small and shippable.
and that's what everybody says. So
Yeah.
I always think a little bigger than I guess everybody else. That's okay.
I know. Carmen is asking if I've tried sublimation. I had the aprons, Carmen, that we had at my retreat last year. Those were sublimated. Those were really cool. But you can, I guess, primarily use light shirts. And so there's some, I don't know. I've considered all the things, but I don't have time to make them.
But you know what? You're working with another locally owned, woman-owned, small business.
Yeah.
And it's no different than the retailers that sell recycled paper and stencils.
Yes. So I get to support another, like you said,
Yeah.
woman-owned business, which is nice. This basket doesn't match my like moody maximalist apothecary, but I just like it. I think it might end up in the living room. We'll see. Okay. I think that's all we have.
Kim Rogers says thanks. She's 5'2".
Oh, see, Kim? Mira, it might be super long on you.
It became a nightshirt now.
You're 6'6"? Are you serious, Paige? My nieces are like 6.
Where is Paige? Is she on TikTok?
She's on YouTube.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah, 6'6".
Oh, 6'6". Wow, she's my size.
Yeah. I want to say Kendall is about 6'4", I think. 6'3". My brothers, all of his children are just so tall.
Kwame's 6'9", 6'8".
Mm-hmm. He's probably 6'8" now because he's shrinking.
So I think I'm 6'5". KJ is he 7 foot?
I think he's a solid 7 foot now.
He's a solid 7 foot, and Isaac is 6'10" at the
He's
very.
taller than Dad
He's
now.
taller than Dad.
Yeah.
So at least 6'10", maybe 6'11".
Yeah.
And yeah, Kendall is 6'4", 6'5".
6'3", 6'4", somewhere in there. She is.
She's taller than you.
Yes.
I thought I was looking her eye to eye.
Yeah. And then Ebony is about as tall as Kendall. So yeah.
I've only met Ebony once.
Yeah.
So
but they're tall girls, Paige. Yeah.
And then Nene and Sam are
I know.
like 5'4".
I know. That's how it works.
Yeah. And my boys are 6'5" too. So and Jordan is 6'5".
About 6.
I think Jordan's taller than
about
me.
6'6", because Jordan's grown.
Yeah.
Boys continue to grow. Isn't that weird?
I think he's taller than me, but I've shrunk. He's
Yeah.
grown, so I think he's 6'6". I'm 6'5". Dom is 6'2".
So when you guys see a picture of me with my family, I look like I'm like 5'7".
I've joked about it.
Even though I'm 6 feet tall.
I like taking photos with your family because I don't have to stand in the back.
Right? You're not in the back, in the middle.
Yeah.
That's usually where I am in pictures. But we're gonna let you guys go. I think I kind of missed you. It's been too long. It's been way too long. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. I love it. I love all the conversations. And I will finish these up and get them staged, I promise. Although I'll probably post them in a reel on, you guys have seen them. Reels on Facebook, reels on Instagram, short on YouTube, and on TikTok. So I'll do them because I did take a video of each of them before I did anything to them. So I'll post a reel and you guys are going to see the project before, during, and after, and you'll get to see it fully staged. And I think that's all we have tonight.
We do have one question.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Paige says, I think mine will end up over 7 feet tall since he was tall at age 13.
Yeah.
So, Teresa Gonzalez, are you planning any events in Safford in the fall?
We're looking at the
in the
spring.
fall, no.
Yeah. We're looking at something in the spring.
Maybe.
Here in Safford. Yeah, possibly.
It's a big maybe. It depends on, do we travel? Do we host something here?
I thought you said we could do both.
I think we could do both, but you're the one who's got to do all the work.
So
it's easy for me to say.
I really do want to have something here. And then one of the spaces we were considering, they're going to be remodeling.
Yes.
So we have to check on another event space. But yes, we'll probably have something in the spring. We'll let you guys know as soon as I nail down a location. So you guys will have plenty of time. And I think that's it. What does my what look like? My sorry look like? I don't know. Okay.
So
you
there
guys
you go.
have a blessed week, and we will see you guys next Sunday, Lord willing. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And you guys remember, there isn't anything that I've done here that's rocket science. You guys can do anything I did tonight, and you don't have to have like a whole lot of special training because you guys can do this.